Hello again, welcome to the CMath Run channel. First couple of weeks of school here. Got a lot of people who are asking me, well, how do I use this Casio Prism or this Casio that I just got? I'm not used to using a Casio, so some of these videos will be to demonstrate how I use this Casio, in this case the Prism, from day number 1 all the way through the end of the year. So I've got a lot of the algebra teachers who are very curious about using the Casio, not really sure how to do it. It looks different from the other calculators, very different from the TI. So I'll hopefully we'll show you how to do some things that will make the transition a little easier. These videos will also work very well for the 9750 G2 and the 9860 G2. I'll demonstrate this on the Casio Prism. If there's a difference, I will let you know that there is a difference. I've also turned on the keylogger, so if you choose to use this in your class, feel free. First, notice that the setup of my Casio is menu based. If I'm somewhere that doesn't look like this, if I'm somewhere else, for example, right now I'm in Run Matrix. Let's say I start there. I'm not really sure how I got there or what's going on. Press the menu key. Menu key will get you back to the main menu. The other important key is the exit key, which is basically goes back one step. So if I'm in a menu or some sub-menu that I don't recognize, you can always press the exit key to go back to get you to the original options, or just press the menu key to get all the way back to the beginning. So those are some great places to go. Again, you've got the menu key, which is very important. I've also got the exit key, very important keys for navigating around. So let's get going here. So I'm in Run Matrix right now. I went menu number 1, menu option 1, or highlight it and just go right into it. A lot of work being done right now with signed numbers. So if you're in Algebra 1 or pre-algebra and you're working on some signed numbers, for example, 3 plus -6, work straight up. Or students will often make this mistake especially on some of the other calculators where you cannot tell the difference between a negative and a minus. Let's say they type in the minus key. Notice there's a difference here. I had a plus -6. Now I'm going to take plus and then -6. Casio calculators are very forgiving. They realize that the only thing you could possibly mean there is negative, so that -6 becomes a -6, and the calculator works with it as if it was a negative. Great little feature because it is hard to tell on calculators that are black and white whether or not it is a plus or a negative or a minus key. So hard to tell, especially as your eyes get older. Fractions and decimals. We have a fraction key, the ABC key, which pulls up templates. Here's a template of a fraction. 2, toggle down. 5. Notice it looks just like it does in the textbook. I'll go over. Since we're talking signed numbers, I'm going to add. Again, I'm going to use the minus key for negative. Let's do a mixed number here. I pressed Shift ABC. Notice the keys over here on the side. Gives me a template. Let's go with 5 and 1/4. All done. Press execute. Answer is displayed. It's an improper fraction. If you want to change that, I do have an FD key, which is form to decimal. Students like to think of it as a fraction to decimal. If I press FD, it changes the answer. If I press it again, it changes it back. I also have a second command, which is in yellow here, which will change it between mixed number, decimal, and a improper fraction. So if I press Shift FD, it will change my answer. If I press FD again, changes it again. Press it one more time, I come back right where I started. Stacked parentheses. If you want to see order of operations and you make it pop out, especially parentheses, Notice that when I start stacking parentheses here, I'm going to start getting different color parentheses. 6 times 5. Close the parentheses there. I'm going to square this. I'm going to raise this to the second power. I'm going to close that parenthesis. I'm going to raise the whole answer to the third power. I've got the caret key. Now watch what happens. Notice how the powers start to stack up. And as they go higher and higher, as the parentheses get bigger. So I've got bigger parentheses here because I've got a squared inside, so make sure that that parenthesis, the blue one, includes the square. Press execute and you get your answer. You'll know that it's an active line when the colors are visible. When the colors disappear, that means you've done an operation. So if you've got something where you're trying to do an operation and it's in black and white, that means you're not active. So if I wanted to activate that, I just went up. I'm pressing over, and I can even stack another set of parentheses there, and notice how all the colors on the inside have changed. So it makes it real nice to be able to point out to students that there is something else going on. So I'm just going to toggle all the way to the end here, close that parenthesis. It's going to give me a blue, and now the inner ones that used to be red are now green. And then you can raise that to a power or multiply that by a -1. Again, I just want to emphasize the use of the minus key, so that's why I keep using the minus key as a negative here. And I still get my same answer. You also notice that there is a scroll bar that shows you that you can scroll up the screen to see what the other operations are. So if you needed to go back, you could always go back and make sure you check out which ones are there. So for right now, that's where I'll stop. I don't want to do these videos too long. I got some complaints that they were getting a little too long, so I'll stop there. I'll be back with another one that'll help you out.